Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the Harvest Season. My name is Al,
And I'm Kevin.
and we're here today to talk about Mario. Wait, no, Cottagecore Games.
I'll talk about Mario. I'm contractually obligated to.
I suspect I've already made that joke, though, haven't I? I probably made that joke a year ago.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um,
Yes, Cottage Core. But we're here to talk about cozy Studio Ghibli likes.
yeah. Yes, so we are going to talk this episode about Mika and the Witch's Mountain. This
Finally.
episode is the reason that Dave the Diver month got delayed. Basically, we
Yeah.
managed big news, full disclosure, because we have to say this. We got a free code for Mika and the Witch's Mountain for review. So thank you to
Both of
GB
us.
Games for that. No, just you. I paid for mine.
Oh,
But you,
okay, sorry.
you got yours free. I paid for mine.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, I paid for it like 3 years ago in Kickstarter.
that's how you got it. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So because of that, we then had like a specific time that they wanted the review to be done by. So we are doing the episode now, which means that hopefully next episode will be the final episode of Dave the Diver month, or maybe not, because of new things that I'm not going to talk about the Dave the
I
Diver
was
news
about
in this
to say,
episode.
or maybe not.
because there is Dave the Diver news. We're going to talk about that in the next episode just because it's so close. So there we go. So yes, we're going to talk about Mika and the Witch's Mountain.
And we can finally say hashtag sponsored.
Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag ad. I think it's actually hashtag gifted. It's not an ad. It's not sponsored. It's gifted. There's a difference there. Because we're obviously getting the review code would not change our review. We would be reviewing it in the same way whether we were paying for it or not.
Yep. That's why
Yeah.
Nintendo won't sponsor Alex.
Yes. And unlike the developers of that new game that I can't remember the name of, we will talk about the politics of China. No.
Oh my gosh. Black
Yeah.
Wukong?
I think it's something like that. I can't remember what the name is,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's something like that. Very, very awkward, all that news of them trying to stop people talking about things that people are obviously going to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Oh, good.
as far as I know, there's no kind of big political issues with Chibi Games. So we're going to just talk about the game
Yep.
because there's no controversies that I know of to talk about. Before that, we have some news. And first of all, Kevin, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, a lot of movie primarily, but on the off chance I do get a breather, I stuck in Mika time, of course. I played, hey, guess what? A Mario game. Shocker. Um,
What?
Particularly for was it Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island? I forget the world or land, but Yoshi's Island, the first Yoshi's Island for the SNES.
Is that the one
Um,
with the babies?
yep, it's the one with the babies.
I enjoyed that one.
The SNES always surprises me, like how quote unquote modern it looks compared to, the NES or whatever. But anyways, I mean it's a Yoshi game. It's good. Have you played any Yoshi games, Al?
I have played this one specifically because it was when I was playing through the Mario games, the way that I defined it was anything that says Super Mario and is a platformer.
Okay,
So that
sure.
this one being called Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island
Yep.
meant that I played this one. But that also included then the first Wario World as well, because that was a Super Mario World. Was it 4
That's
or
3,
3?
wasn't it, I think?
I can't remember, but it was one
Yeah.
of them anyway. So yeah, back when they would make a random platformer for another character and just slap Mario's name on it.
It was a good strategy. They should go back.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Um,
I don't think
yeah.
I've played any of the other ones.
Mm,
I've been meaning to play Woolly World for a while just because it looks fun. But
yeah.
I don't think I need to have a look at the list of games.
Yeah, well, shocker. The core of the game, of a Nintendo game, has stayed pretty intact all these years.
Yeah.
Um, it's a fun one. I like it. Yoshi's Island introduces all the Yoshi mechanics that aren't just Mario stuff, right? Not just the eggs, but the flutter jump, all sorts
Yeah.
of the Yoshi copter, all sorts of fun things. if
But I
you
guess
want
the
to hear
interesting thing about this one was that it was you were controlling Yoshi rather than controlling Mario on Yoshi.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. No longer your loyal steed slash jump assist when you throw him in the pit to make that jump. Um, um, but yeah, if you want to hear extended thoughts on Mr. Yoshi's first spotlight feature, well, that's not true. He had that Yoshi puzzle game. Whatever. Go listen to Rainbow Road Radio, the show I do with Alex. That'll be the next episode. It'll be out by the time this is out. So yeah, go check that out. Um, other than that, I'm pretty sure I talked about Battle Cats a long, long time ago on this podcast. It's a mobile game. It's tower defense. You control these goofy cats, sending your army to in units to go fight the enemy CPU units or whatever. Um, I go on and off it. One thing about it, they do collabs with all sorts of different properties. The most wild ones, like they've done Evangelion, they did Street Fighter, and they happen to do one with Rurouni Kenshin, which brought me back in hard. Do you know Rurouni Kenshin, Al?
I do not. I was just about to ask what is
Oh,
that?
okay. It's a manga slash anime.
Ah,
Unfortunately, with a very problematic creator. I will acknowledge. By problematic, I mean awful. Like I won't. Yeah, not a great person. But the
going to
manga
Wikipedia and
slash.
looking at. Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
Yep, yep. Not good things.
That's not just problematic.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk
Okay.
about that.
Criminal. Okay. Let's. Okay. A criminal. A criminal creator. Let's bump it up a little.
Yep.
Um, but which was unfortunate because the manga slash anime was very popular. It's from like the 90s, I believe, and very uh, well liked and whatnot. I watched it when I was younger, actually, in Mexico, because Mexico had a lot of anime going on back then. There still does. It's a it's a whole thing. It's about samurais basically, and just really cool and really enjoyable. And so yeah, hearing that collab got my attention, and so I got back into Battle Cats, and that was fun to see. Um, and then Zoneless Zen Zero, the Hoyoverse game, I continue to play it. I'm actually kind of getting finally invested into the story a little bit after like a month, some time to get through all the gobbledygook and nonsense words they use to finally understand what's going on. One thing interesting about it is because it's, an ongoing Genshin type game, like I've kind of hit, I think, the end of the available story, right? They do chapter drops or whatever, and so now I
All
have
right.
to
Yeah.
wait for
Yeah.
the next one. Which is just an interesting experience. I don't think I've ever had to really deal with it, at least in a video game, right? No. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. What about you, Al? What's going on with you?
Cool. Well, I've obviously been playing Mika as well,
Uh-huh.
and we'll talk about that. I have also. We are recording on the 23rd of August, which is the day that Harvest Moon Home Sweet Home comes out. So,
Oh,
or came out, or has come out. It's out.
against all odds,
So I
with
have, I
no
have.
word, not a whisper of anything about it, but it came out anyways.
It's quite something. So I have bought it and I have played it a little bit. Obviously, not very much because it's the first day and I've been working today. Uh, well, um, the it's. I will obviously have a lot more thoughts about this in the future, but my first thought is this game has basically no controller support, but it's not completely not. Right? It has. I've found one thing that it has controller support for, and that's conversations. When you're talking to somebody, you can proceed the conversation with the controller. Nothing else.
That's so
And
weird. You
it's
have
so
to
weird.
play
So
on your phone,
weird.
but when you hit the conversation, pick up your controller.
It's so weird. Well, that's the thing, because I have an Android phone and I have
Uh-huh.
an iPad. I have to decide on which platform I'm going to purchase on, right? Because I'm not going to purchase on both. Although I will say, interestingly, it's not that expensive. It's £18 on iOS and it's
Oh,
£14 on Android.
oh my
Weird that
darn.
there's the difference there, but it's not an insane. It's not a ridiculous amount. It's pretty good for what it is. But I'm probably still not going to buy it on both. So I had to
Sure.
decide, and I was like, I can't. I think I decided originally to buy it on Android, so I bought it and downloaded it and opened it, and it crashed. And apparently they've
Oh.
had an issue on Android where the game is crashing just now. And so I
Okay.
was like, I went onto the Play Store and there
Guess
was
I
a
have to buy
refund. There was
both.
a refund button. So I was like, oh, well, I'll refund that and I'll go buy it on, on iPad then. So I've been playing it on the iPad. But the problem with that is obviously I would like to use my controller because it's on my iPad,
Yep.
right? Like, I don't want to be like holding my 13-inch iPad trying to play touchscreen controls.
Back to the
So
Wii U days, baby.
it's worse than that. It's so much bigger than that. Um, I will. I do have an iPad Mini, so I will try it out on that and see how it feels on that as well. But this might not be a good start to it. Although I will have to see. I need to check this. I meant to check this earlier, because macOS has a thing now where you can install iPad apps. So I need to see if I can install that. Maybe I can play it on
Ooh,
my Mac. We'll see.
that'd be nice. Is there no BlueStacks equivalent on
Well,
Mac?
that is
Oh, that
that is
is
that. Yeah,
okay.
it's the same thing, but
Okay.
technically developers can disable it if they want. So
I
we'll see
see.
whether they've disabled it or not. Uh,
Okay.
I would hope not, but we'll see.
Um, okay, about the game. Okay, the big question about the game itself. Is it, a farming game? Don't even know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I would say it's basically it's a Harvest Moon game. Now the
Okay, it
question
is
is
a
whether
Harvest Moon game.
it is a Harvest Moon game, and they've definitely thought about it in terms of touchscreen first. I would say touchscreen first or touchscreen only, uh, clearly
Okay.
because they don't have the controller support.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, the fact that they've thought about it touchscreen first is good. The fact that it doesn't support controllers is bad. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see
Okay.
how things go. I've not put enough into it to have, an opinion on the
Sure.
story or the full mechanics or
Sure.
anything like that. That episode will come.
All right.
But yeah, so start off disappointing. we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see where it goes from here. I think I bought and started playing Natsumon, is that right? Yeah, Natsumon 20th Century Summer Kid. I haven't played a lot of that though. That's probably for the future because there's a lot happening just now.
Yes.
That was one of the games that Mika talked about, I think, last year.
Okay. Oh, I love that art style. It's beautiful.
And they only added the English translation at the beginning of this month.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool.
So yeah, that's what we've been playing. So into the news. Speaking of mobile games, we have some Animal Crossing news. It's been a while since we've had some Animal Crossing news, Kevin. And now it's time
Good
to talk
for
about
once.
a game. Now it's time to talk about an Animal Crossing game that neither of us have really played. I think I have downloaded it and I've opened it and got really bored really quickly. But that is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. So the news is that the game is shutting down. But don't worry, they're releasing it again offline. So this is very interesting, and I want to know what you think. But my opinion is that this is, I think, exactly what we want online games to do. Is when they shut
Yep.
down, they release another version that allows you to play the whole game without in-app purchases.
Yep.
And granted, it's going to cost money, and I accept that because it takes work, and that's life.
Sure.
But it'll be interesting to see how much it costs. That'll be the killer, I think. But I think overall, although some people will be disappointed because obviously it means there's no new events in the game, I think that overall it's a good news because it's not going away.
Right. I heard, I cannot source or confirm. I heard that they will try to do some events still for the first like while for the
Mm,
offline version.
no, I
But
haven't seen anything about that. What they have said is that they'll be doing events and adding some items until the end of the current version.
oh, okay, that might be what I heard. Never mind.
Yeah, so it's
But still.
which it's running until the 28th of November.
Okay.
That is when they're going to shut it down.
Um,
So they said there will be some more events and items until before then, but I haven't seen anything about new stuff in the
right.
offline version.
If I'm employed by that point, I will pick this up because I'm much more interested now that I can just play it all, especially offline. Because that's my ideal mobile game.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to me how much it costs. Like, will it cost like what Mario Run cost? That was that like 20? Was that $20? Something like that.
Can't remember. Probably.
Something like that, or whether it ends up going like a full price Switch game. I would be surprised
I
if
was
it
about to
did.
say.
But you never know. It
Not-
is Nintendo.
It's in the new Nintendo Direct, the latest entry into the Animal Crossing series. full full price Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Deluxe.
It turns out the Switch 2 runs Android. Um, Look, we got a new Animal Crossing game for the new console. Um, yeah, the other thing is they haven't said for certain that it's definitely 100% offline. Let me see if I can find the wording. It says, we are developing a version of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp that users can continue to play with their save file. So that's a key point. Your data will carry across.
Oh yeah, yeah. Can you imagine if it
You would think that would be a minimum required thing for this, but
did?
just it's good to have the clarification.
In this day and age, yeah, it's good to have that clarification.
You carry over your save data by linking your Nintendo account. It says, but you cannot carry over any remaining Leaf tickets. I think they were the like paid item that unlocked
Sure.
things in the game. So obviously it
Right.
doesn't make any sense if there are if because it says it's a paid app without in-app purchases. So obviously there will not be the paid thing. The question, of course, is whether that means everything in the game, all the items will be unlocked for everybody, and if so, do you have to do something to unlock them? Like, are there going to be challenges, or is it just you can access everything like you had paid for it?
Maybe. If I were making the decision, slash, this is my guess, I'd say there's a new fake premium currency, new Leaf tickets, whatever you want to call it, and you have to do challenges to earn that. So that way they can just leave like everything else in place.
That's a
But
possible. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't the case, purely because that sounds like work, and is probably less work just to have. Like, I can't. I don't think I played long enough to know how these things unlock.
yeah,
But I'm presuming it's just a shop somewhere, and so instead that shop just has a cost of 0 for everything.
okay. Or can they change it to no? I don't know about this game's non-premium currency. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. The other thing is it says it does not require constant data communication, but that word constant would imply that maybe there is some internet connectivity to it, but why would they do that if they're shutting down the game? So I'm a little bit intrigued as to what that means and what exactly it's going to look like. They have said they're going to have more details about the new app in October, so I guess we'll find out.
All right. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it for
Yeah, I will almost certainly purchase this. Will I regret purchasing it? We'll find out. Stay tuned.
sure. All right.
Next, we have a renamed game. What was previously called A Last Song is now called Mellowbot A Last Song.
I love Metabots. Classic.
Mellowbot is a good name. I'm not a huge fan of like subtitles in games, but I get why they're doing this one, right? Because it makes it very clear that it's a music-based game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually a fan of subtitles, and the reason, like, because if they want to make, franchise or whatever sequels, like having different subtitles, I think is better than the numbering thing. But that's just me.
I mean, I personally prefer just numbering because then it makes it very clear the order. But that aside, I think part of the reason I don't like subtitles is because it implies that they are going to make a franchise, and it's like, don't assume that you're going to be successful enough to do a franchise. And often subtitles are really, stupid and not like. So let's talk about the Ark games, for example,
Yeah.
right? A
The
perfect
pinnacle
example
of
of bad subtitles. They have their first game was Ark Survival Evolved, right? Which,
Uh-huh.
okay, sure, fine. You're making it clear it's a survival game. That's fine. Evolved, maybe that's talking about the dinosaurs. Who knows? What I find confusing about it, though, is that when you get to a second game, you then start to go, well, is Evolved the first or the second game? Because Evolved would imply to me that it's like an evolution of the previous game, but it's not. It's the first game. And then their particular problem is they have a a remaster of the original called Ark Survival Ascended, which is very not clear why those two names, and how are you meant
Good
to know which is
times.
which based on those names. That's my main problem. And then, of course, their new game is just called Ark 2. So they just can't decide what they want to do.
Beautiful. I like that.
But anyway, as subtitles
Mhm.
go, this is not a bad subtitle. So
Yeah.
I guess just a reminder to people, this is the game where you play as a robot on an alien planet and you are healing plants with song, basically.
Yeah. There is, in fact, rhythm gameplay in this game. I was looking at the trailer. Um, it looks nice.
Yeah, so it's a little world that you walk around in and you find plants and then you have to use your rhythm to heal them, which is a fun little
mm,
idea. And
yeah.
I like the idea of kind of combining a, I don't know if it's open world or what, but like, a world traversal also with rhythm game.
Yeah. And somehow there's still combat. I don't know if that's rhythm based, but
I
there
think it
was,
is. I think it is rhythm based as well, based on the trailer.
which is
We'll see.
a cool idea. It
Yeah.
looks nice. I'm down for this. September 12th. That's not far off.
Yeah, so
Less
that's
than
the
a
other
month.
news. It's coming out on the 12th of September, and they've also announced it's coming to PlayStation and Xbox on the same day as Steam. Yeah, 2 weeks, two or 3 weeks. 3 weeks, is that? 3 weeks to go till it comes out. Next, we have the full patch notes for the new Disney Dreamlight Valley update, Dapper Delights. So if you want
Did,
them, they are now available.
did
And
they add hot ones to the game? The reverse of the collab?
uh, no, I feel like I'm missing
No,
a reference.
no. Okay, you know what hot ones is, right?
The like wings challenge.
Yes, yes. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
the talk show where people eat spicy food in the meanwhile or whatever, right?
yeah.
Um, they're doing one with Donald Duck, an animated Donald Duck.
Um, why?
It was I think 90th anniversary, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, you haven't seen this? Oh man.
Oh no,
Um,
that sounds terrible.
yeah, look at I mean the animation's good, I will say that. They're not skimping on it, but I gotta love how the host is just gonna be talking to himself, I guess, or stand-in Donald Duck.
I really don't know
Good.
what to say.
You gotta love that. Good old.
I've never watched a full episode of Hot Ones. I've just seen clips on TikTok.
I haven't either, but yeah, I'm excited for it. Will this be as good as Doofenshmirtz on Shark Tank? I don't know.
Sorry, what now?
Oh, you didn't know that? Dr.
No.
Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb was on Shark Tank?
As in like the animated character
That
or
is
as in
correct. Yes.
what? I
I'll send
I
you
don't
the
know what to
link.
say. So no, the Hot Ones is not suddenly in Dreamlight Valley. Um
Unfortunately.
but no, this update adds Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Uh,
Okay.
and she brings a restaurant with her. I don't
Uh-oh.
think I've
Remy's
seen the
facing
Princess and the Frog.
competition now. You gotta
Is
pick a
that
side.
is that a thing she's known for? I've not seen the Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's her entire thing. Like
Okay,
she's works in a restaurant, wants to save up to open her own restaurant. That's her dream.
fair enough.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So the full details on the update are right now, and I did notice that we do have confirmation now that the Act 3 of the DLC, which comes out with the update, is the final in the Rift of Time expansion, which I think confirms that the next thing that they're hinting at, the next expansion they're hinting at, is our new expansion. Because I looked on Steam, and when you're purchasing the
Mm-hmm.
expansion, you are very explicitly purchasing Disney Dreamlight Valley: A Rift in Time. So I think that's A
Sure.
Rift in Time is complete, and the next thing that they're hinting that comes later this year will be another paid expansion.
Sure. Another things, yeah. I wonder what it'll be.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any real hints on that yet. So we'll see. We'll see what comes.
Okay. Um, good stuff.
Next, we have a new update for Steam World Build. The Skull Valley update is out now. So this adds a whole new map filled with piratey perils and opportunities. Build your town Build your town amidst palm trees, cannons, and the looming shadow of the Kraken. So, there you go.
Okay, I've not played this one. I'm at a loop here.
So this
Krakens
is
are cool.
it's a town builder,
Yeah, I remember that.
a SteamWorld
Nice.
town builder. So this is just a new map for the town builder with some new stuff in it, which is cool.
Yeah, the brand new map is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
yeah, Kraken's cool. There I'm seeing the picture. It's Kraken like in a desert. Okay, I didn't expecting that. Um,
Yeah. I don't know whether anything will come with that or not because it does say
uh,
looming shadow of the Kraken implies that something might
yeah,
come from that. But it
yeah,
does look very much dried up.
yeah. That's actually a fun aesthetic. Dried up pirate island.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. This is cool. I like it.
So if you've been playing SteamWorld Build, go get that update now. If you haven't been playing it and you're like, you know what I really want, what will make me buy this game? Pirates. Well, there you go. Now you can go.
You know what would make me buy a game, Al?
Nothing you say is going to be true right now.
Spinach. What if the game had spinach? You're
Oh my word. Farming Simulator 25, in our continual coverage of this game for some reason, uh, we've got some more information on the game, more reveals. There is a new map, uh, and there's spinach. So
you like spinach, Al?
I don't hate spinach, but it's not something I would particularly choose. But if I
So
was
I like
having a meal that had spinach, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
yeah. I like, baby spinach, the green leafy stuff,
Yeah.
but when you like cook it too much and turns that Popeye mushy stuff, oh no, I
Yeah,
can't handle that.
that's
Nope.
part of the problem. You basically can't cook it. You just need to mix it into your hot
Yep.
food, and otherwise it's overcooked.
There's
But
too much dang water.
yeah.
Um, well, there you go. Spinach fans rejoice. It's in Farming Simulator.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So I've just been looking through the other previews they've given us. So
Mm.
they are releasing with this game an ignition lock, a physical ignition that you can buy and insert the key to turn on your tractor.
Now we're talking. I like that.
Oh
Forget
dear.
controller support. Where's my
But that's
physical
basically
key
what
and
it
lock
is.
support?
There you go. There's a link you can look at, Kevin. This is quite something.
Oh, that's oh man, let me see this.
So this comes with the collector's edition of Farming Simulator 25.
Oh my gosh. This is great. I love that. This is genius. Always on the cutting edge. Um, Good
Always
old
on
farming
something.
simulator.
Though I will say, the collector's edition in the UK is £60.
That's
So
not bad.
that's not bad for coming with, the physical ignition key, if that's what you want. Um, it comes with two keys as well in case you lose one. So there you go.
I definitely would. So I appreciate that.
I feel like my
Thinking.
key would just sit in the ignition the whole time. It's, I mean, it's not like someone's actually going to steal it. Since we wanted to ensure a quality product that's not just functional but also robust and reliable, our specialists sat down, designed, and engineered it directly in house.
There you look at that. Look at that is expertise at its finest.
It is something, that's for sure. And the last piece of update news for games is that Smushy Come Home have got a limited physical release, which includes trading cards.
That's
So,
interesting. Five. There's 3 of 5. There's only 5 of them.
yeah,
It's like one of each biome, and then a nice one with art. I 5. That's okay, I guess. You know what? All I care is that that box art is beautiful.
yeah,
I might not. I won't be getting it right now under my circumstances, but that is beautiful. And Smooshy is a lovely you know what? Cozy is a foul word, but that is actually cozy and enjoyable and lovely game. I highly recommend it to pretty much anyone. It's if you want a nice game to actually relax with. Smooshy is a great one.
My issue is not with the word cozy; it's with developers or publishers using the name, using the word.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
fine for people to describe a game they like as cozy. I
Yes.
don't think it's okay for developers to say this is a cozy game because they don't get
Yep.
to decide.
You know what? Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, if you want a hug in a video game form, go play Smooshy. Yeah, Smooshy. Come home. Mm.
So we also have two new games that have been announced. One is called Herdling, and this is the new game being published by Panic, who do a bunch of stuff. um, they did Untitled Goose Game and Firewatch, and they make the Playdate, the little controller, the little games console with the crank.
Wait, all those guys did that?
Yeah,
It's a wild array of things.
yeah, it is. They are a wild array of people. Um,
Yep, you know what? Hats off to them. They are not cowards. They will
anyway,
go to get you.
this game is being published by them. They're not developing it,
Right.
but obviously they're not like a massive publisher, so
Yeah.
they must see something in this game, which immediately makes me interested.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's
blurb
true.
the blurb for this game is guide a herd of mysterious creatures on a stirring and beautiful journey into the mountains and beyond. I, it, yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is, right? Like if you
Yep,
watch the
I'm
video,
watching the
you are
trailer and
guiding
you're
a herd
hurting.
of majestical creatures.
They
I
kind of
don't.
look like full cow things, buffalo things. They're hairies like yaks. It's a
Yeah,
pretty game.
different sizes and
Yeah,
colors and stuff like that.
some of them glow a little, twisty horns. It's a very pretty game, very pretty world.
Yeah, and
Um,
it looks like there's some puzzles.
Take them on a boat, push things
You
with
do.
your majestic bull thing.
Yeah, do they have a name for these creatures? I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Calicorns.
Okay, I'm
Guide,
down for that.
protect, and fall in love with a motley herd of calicorns. Yeah, no, this looks cool. They've not
Oh
announced when it's coming
man,
out. It's on Steam, but they haven't said what platforms it's on, and I can't see anything about consoles.
yeah. It says an emotional, wordless tale. Oh no, this game's gonna hit me bad. It's gonna do something to hurt me bad. I can already see it.
They
All
have said it's coming to console, but they haven't said what consoles. So
right, well there you go. Coming to the
more
play date.
information as it comes. I highly doubt it will come to the Playdate.
Exclusive.
It's a cool little console, but I don't think it could cope with that game. And finally, we have Flowtopia. Have you watched this trailer yet, Kevin?
Hold on, no, let me see. You ready
Right.
for my
Okay. You need to watch this trailer. Listeners, pause the episode. Go watch this trailer. It will be in the show notes. Go watch the trailer before we talk about it. Right,
Okay,
Kevin?
listen, my live reaction. Let's see. First reaction. There's an ad, so give me a second. 1 second. Almost there. Okay, here we go. Oh, the world's ending. That's nice.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal.
With cute little chibi people.
Yep, they're running around trying not to die.
There's somebody very nonchalant about it.
The end means I don't need to go to work. I mean, fair.
They're I admire the hustle. They're saying the world's ending, so come live to the cloud, Photopia people, islands.
So, so that I mean, that's quite a dramatic shift in tone there,
It
right?
definitely is. Yep, you go from actual apocalypse with giant tornado in the background to happy joy music in the clouds. We're just gonna ignore all the people who didn't make it. Why are all these people animals? Well, not all of them, but
I think that's a costume. I don't think they're actually animals. I think it was an animal
they.
costume.
Well, I know. The dog person was digging like a dog. I don't know, man. Somebody named
I think
Candy.
I wouldn't be surprised if the costumes gave you abilities, because they do talk about how you get superpowers and
Uh,
different characters can have different superpowers. So I suspect that might be what it's from.
mm-hmm. Okay. They're sliding on a cloud now, on a cloud mobile cart. Um, this is wild. What a way to start that trailer. I'm
Yeah,
looking
like
for more of it. Where's the apocalypse?
I'm very intrigued. So like, is that? is my first thought is maybe that part is actually just the trailer
Yeah, it
for someone
definitely is.
like it doesn't actually happen anywhere in game. I'm thinking someone in the game is trying to sell you to come to this place, and they're like, "Oh, real world is like the apocalypse. Come and come here instead," sort of thing.
I
Or whether it actually happens, and then that's just the setup for the game.
it's
Um,
yeah, it's just gonna happen in like the opening cinematic, and that's it.
well, maybe,
With
yeah, but
no.
that's my question: is does it actually happen, or does it not actually
Oh,
happen?
oh, I think it does happen. Oh, and then at the end, it's all inside a snow globe. Okay.
Mm. So there's the other interesting question: what is happening here? Is this
I
what is
I don't
this?
know
And
what's
why are we?
happening.
Why did we fly onto the moon? Why are we in amongst the stars? Like, is that something you can do? That seems to be inside a carton inside the snow globe on your desk. I need to know more about this game. Uh,
I
I
need to know
will
why the Go-Go Town people didn't survive the apocalypse.
I will 100% be buying this game.
It's something. It feels like just an announcement trailer, right? So it's all. I don't think we actually saw any gameplay. Oh no, there's a little bit. There might have been.
We can't. We saw limited gameplay.
Yeah, maybe
Anyway,
because
I'm
there's
very
a
intrigued. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be just another farming sim, but I'm a little, or I guess it would probably be more like an Animal Crossing like rather than a farming
yeah,
sim.
yeah,
Um,
Go-Go Town vein, like I said. It. I
yeah, I
wish
don't
they.
know, because like, yeah, maybe kind of like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm
And
intrigued.
either
Like
I
they
wish.
literally just announced this at Gamescom, and
Yeah.
it's coming to Steam and consoles, but we don't know when yet.
Who knows? I wish they'd lean into the apocalypse stuff.
Oh, the website just started singing at me.
That sounds right.
Oh no, I don't know how to stop it. There we go. I've muted the. Right, let's try that again. What were you saying?
Just just I wish they'd lean into the apocalypse more. That's all. That'd be something.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right.
Cool. So I think that's all the news.
Yeah.
Um, Next we're going to talk about Mika and the Witch's Mountain. Just now that we're starting this part of the episode, need to put the disclosure out there again. We did receive one review code from Chibi Games. So that is what it is. Obviously, our review of the game will not be affected by that, but that
Nope.
is something we need to tell you by law.
Well, there you go.
So, quick introduction to the game. As Kevin joked earlier in the episode, it is. I have forgotten the name of the.
Studio Ghibli,
Yeah, no, the film though.
Kiki's Delivery
Yes, Kiki's
Service.
Delivery Service. It's basically Kiki's Delivery Service in a game, right?
In Kiki's Delivery Service cross Wind Waker, because that boy, that is a Wind Waker art style. They
Yeah, very much
promised
so.
and they delivered.
So you
Um,
are a little witch who has to deliver packages to people to get to the top of a mountain,
yes,
and you're on a
they're
broom.
paying you to get and you can buy the broom. That's how it works. It's not as if they're guarding your way to the mountain. You cannot pass until you deliver
Yeah,
this fish to
yeah. I
the
guess to
captain.
we'll expand I guess a bit more on the broom later on. But yeah, that's kind of the summary of the game. I guess let's start on quickly talk about the looks and the sound and stuff like that, because obviously
Mhm.
we've both talked about we like how this game looks before we've played it, but now
Yep.
we've actually played it. What do you think?
I still like how it looks. Shocker. um,
Yeah, I just sometimes like I mean
yeah,
I don't know how it runs on the Switch, but
no,
it like ran really well on my Steam Deck.
yeah, it
I
was
wasn't
running
seeing any
fine.
issues.
It was running on fine on Switch. I didn't see any big issues either. Oh, I guess for context, Al has completed the game. I made it very far, but did not complete it as of yet. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, I very much enjoy the game. It's interesting how Chibi will shift art styles between different games set in the same universe or whatever. But it looks
Oh,
quite
and
nice.
And boy, is this set in the same universe. They make it very clear that this is set in the same universe. I counted, I think, 4 different characters in this game that have been in previous games.
I was like, yeah, they name drop Mara. They'll do well. We'll get into that in the story, I guess. But yeah, there's plenty of familiar faces. Yeah, but no, I love the presentation. Like it is very much just we're gonna imitate Wind Waker, but you know what? I really like the Wind Waker art style, so that's fine by me.
Yeah,
Um, they didn't do a bad job of it. I'll say that.
yeah, yeah. And
Also,
sound wise, I quite liked the sound
yep,
design and the music and stuff like that. It's
it is.
all very
Yep,
nice. It's well put together, I think.
I agree. Um, Also, I will give it props for one more thing. So, like I've said, expressed before, that a lot of game companies are using Studio Ghibli-like or inspired or whatever. It's a phrase, and a lot of times they don't quite deliver on that. But I think this one actually did. It captured the spirit of Kiki's Delivery Service pretty well. So much that the person who sells your brooms is just like Kiki.
Eh,
Um,
that's fun. I haven't
yeah.
actually seen it yet, so
Well, I mean, it's a
I only
Studio
know what
Ghibli.
people have told me.
It's charming. Um,
I have
yeah.
so far seen one Studio Ghibli film, but I do plan to watch the rest.
Wait, which one was it? Just curious.
The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, I'm not saying that one actually. So,
It's good.
um,
It's very
all
good.
right.
And
Um,
despite everything, I would highly recommend watching the dub because uh, the voice acting in the dub is excellent. It's very good. Like it's not a lot of dubs are pretty half-hearted. This
yeah.
is very excellent.
The
If you've ever
Studio
wanted,
Ghibli dubs usually, I think, are pretty solid. They get good talent. They got Billy Crystal for Howl's Moving Castle.
they have Robert Pattinson in the Boy and the Heron.
Oh, really? Huh. There you
He
go.
plays the heron.
Huh. Well, there you
And
go. Yeah.
boy, and he puts everything into that. Like he's not phoning it in. It's a very good performance.
He is a good actor, and I'm glad he
Yeah.
put effort into it. Unfortunately, he was not here to voice the captain or whatever. There's no, yeah. But yeah. Overall, like I love the presentation. There's a few things like the chibi, the what is it, hallmark or whatever you want to call it of standard of slightly awkward English translations at times. Um, but uh,
Yes.
but in general, like yeah, I didn't have any problems with it. It's and you have access to pretty much the whole map at the beginning. You can fly around and see the different areas and stuff.
Well, except the bits that you need to get to at the end. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'd
they're
say
quite
mostly.
yeah
Uh,
they're quite limited to the extra bits.
yeah,
So yeah, it's mostly you can access most of the game
yeah.
from the very start. And I guess let's go into that. So we can talk about the flying and the brooms because
hmm
the you start off with a broken broom and you have to get it fixed, and you have a fixed broom, and
Because
then
of course.
of course, yeah, you have to do that. And then as you do more deliveries and you get more money, then your friend can upgrade your broom for you, and the broom does different things. It can the there's like air currents which your very first broom can't use. You just kind of like get pushed off to the side, whereas
Yeah,
the second broom will let you use them.
yeah, both
And then the later
horizontal and vertical. So you can
horizontal
speed
and
boost
vertical,
or rise. Yeah,
yeah. And then there's one that gives you this like extra air boosts that are
yeah,
hanging in the air that one
like
of the
a
brooms gives you
mid-air
access to.
jump sort of thing. Yeah,
And then the final broom, there's like a hurricane, a tornado type thing, not hurricane, a tornado on one level, which you can only use if you have the final broom, and that like boosts you
right.
really high up in the air, and that's how you get to
But,
the top level.
okay.
So that's obviously fine. It does the job. I will say, when I first played the game, I got very confused with the flying.
hmm
I was expecting flying to be a bit different than it was, and this is probably a me problem.
hmm
Um, but I was I don't know why I was expecting this. I've already talked to Johnny about this, and he definitely wasn't expecting this. But I was expecting that you get on a broom and you can like fly up. You can't fly up. basically.
Yeah.
You're always flying down. You
Yeah.
can have like, if you're close to ground, you get like a little boost, so you can like go up a little bit, so you are actually above the ground. But
Right. Right.
basically,
Yeah.
if you
You
want
don't
to go up, you have to use
want
the
wasn't.
airstreams or follow
Hmm.
the land and jump off a higher bit of land, stuff like that.
Sure.
And because of that's how it works, like, you know how when you're flying, you can have like two different control schemes. You either have like pull back pulls you up and
Yeah.
push
The
forward makes you
inverted.
go down,
Hmm.
or the way this was, which is when you can't like control going up and down, you just
Hmm.
control where you are. Like
Hmm.
forward makes you go forward and back makes you go backwards. So like I was pulling backwards to go up and I was just turning round. So it kept confusing me like that. And I suspect that's mostly a me problem, expecting something different, but
Hmm.
and probably due to how much I played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where when you actually fly rather than glide, that is what it
Okay.
is, right? You pull up to
Yeah.
go up.
Yeah.
So I got used to it, but yeah, it was a little bit kind of jarring at the beginning.
Sure. I didn't have that expectation, and like I think the game, the presentation of you have, a really basic broom or whatever. Like they're clearly showing you're going to be building up to it. Like
For
it
sure.
made sense to me. But I mean, the- regardless of that bit, I think the flying overall feels great. It feels exactly like how I wanted it to feel. I remember playing the demo some time ago, and I was happy, and they didn't disappoint. Like everything else that they add to it, it all feels natural. It feels great. You can actually go pretty fast when you get in the air currents and whatnot. You can go far, and it's almost a sort of platforming at times, right? Because you're trying to hit air currents or jump on
Yeah.
islands and whatnot. Um, and I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, I think like this is one of the pillars they're building the game on, clear and upfront, and I think they succeeded.
Yeah, I agree. Once I got over my initial brain hump,
Hmm.
I was. It's enjoyable flying. You know, it's smooth. It does what you expect it to do,
Yep.
and yeah, you can get around really fast once you're used to it. And zooming around all these air currents, you can get around their reasonably large island pretty quickly.
Hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, good job, Chibi. You nailed the flying. Was the important
Which is
part.
kind of important, yeah. Uh, so the other main mechanic in this game is the deliveries. So obviously you are taking items to different people, and I thought this was quite interesting. There's a couple of different things here. So first of all, you can start off by only picking up one item,
Yeah.
and you pick it up in your hands, and then when you go in the broom, it's like hanging below your broom.
Hmm.
As you get better brooms, you can have more items. I think up to a maximum of three, which is fine. But the interesting thing is, as you're doing the deliveries, they have like damage that you can do to them,
Yeah.
and there's different kinds of damage. So you can either have fragile damage. I don't know how I would describe that, but if you hit into a rock at speed,
Right. It
then
can
that'll
break or
damage it.
whatever. Yeah.
Or there's water damage because
You get
some of them are, you can't get them wet, like with
letters or
letters and
envelopes. Yep.
on
Not gonna make.
electronics and stuff like that. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
some things will be fragile, some things you can't get wet, and some things it's both. And so they have different amount of health as well, which I found interesting. So some things will
Yeah.
have like 3 hearts, and if you hit into something, you lose 1 heart.
Hmm.
And some things will have, I think there's some things where you can't hit it at all. If you hit it at all, it dies. So
Yeah.
that
Right.
kind of, I think, adds an interesting aspect to it, where it's like you can't just go as fast as you possibly can. You have
Or
to
take
you have
any
to be
route
careful.
or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's nothing too overly difficult, I think, but it is fun, right? Because I definitely, like I said, you can go fast, right? So I collided and banged a few hearts sometimes. Um, yeah. But yeah, they're doing what they can to spice up essentially quest, right? Which is the whole game.
Yeah.
It's fine. Um,
Yeah, I think what you said, it's not very difficult. Yeah, it's not very difficult, but it does add a challenge to it. Whereas
right.
if it didn't have that, it would just be you just take things between them. And like
Yeah.
that's fine, but it doesn't add any kind of like feeling
Yeah.
of accomplishment.
Hmm.
Um Whereas with that, you can be like, oh, yeah, well, I'm on a boat right now and I have a thing
Hmm.
that can't get wet. Right. I
Yeah.
need to make sure that I can get to land and trying to plot out where you're going based on the air currents and
Yeah.
making sure that you don't land in the water, which
Yeah.
I think made it more fun with that little bit
Yeah.
of challenge there.
Yeah. And you know what? There's I think another thing that is an implicit sort of challenge is actually getting to the places. Right, because a lot of times you have to go make a delivery somewhere you've never been, right? And so since you can't just blast up into the air, you have to figure out, okay, what platforms can I jump off, what air currents can I ride and whatnot, to kind of reach the area. And it's an open world and there's different solutions, but that is just something else that you have to think about where you plot how you're going to try to get there, which makes sense for a delivery service. So, props to them for that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, and you can fish or catch fish in a fish bowl. That's kind of fun. You
yeah.
scoop them. You grab the empty bowl and you scoop them right out of the ocean. Good times. I
Yeah.
wish they used that more, to be honest. Um, to
Yeah.
scoop it and use
I think there
water or
was only
something.
one challenge in the game to actually do that.
Yep. Yeah, that's
You can
correct.
do it yourself, but I was not spending time doing that because whatever. It was fun the first time you do it, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really feel like I needed to do it again, right? Like
No,
once I've
no.
done that, I've done it.
Yeah. But it didn't have to just be fish. Like I think scooping up water and pouring it on something would have been in something else to do, right?
They
There's a lot
do
of things
have
on
that.
fire in this game. They could have used a
Yeah,
little bit of water.
they do. You can. That's a thing. You've obviously not hit that point in the story. Um,
No.
I don't
Speaking
want
of
to spoil it
which,
for you, but
no, I'm fine with it if you want to. It's fine.
there are bits of you have to put the fires out.
Okay.
For,
Oh, you do.
uh,
Okay. I have
yeah,
not
so
reached it.
that is a thing you do.
Okay.
Um,
Well, there you go. Actually, I think I'm
uh,
on one of those missions right now. Now that I'm remembering. Yeah, I'm dealing with the plane. I think you have to extinguish the plane.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
you
on
do.
that right now, actually. Um, yeah,
No
yeah.
problem. No spoilers.
No
Cool.
spoilers,
So
but just
just
it's not a spoiler that you see a because the plane's always on fire. You just see a burning plane out there in the ocean,
you do.
and you're just like, wow, well, okay, no one's gonna address this, and it doesn't get addressed for a good while.
It does not. So just before we talk about the story, there is one other thing that I wanted to say is that I do really like this game. I think this game is great.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked a little bit more. It's not a particularly long game, and
Yeah.
I always feel a little bit like a hypocrite when I talk about this because I always do talk
Yep.
about how games are too long nowadays,
Yep.
um, and I stick by that. But I think I finished this game in 8 hours,
Mm-hmm. Sounds
which
about correct.
isn't like it's not like wildly short. Like
Yeah.
it's fine, and I had fun, but I do feel like I've been left wanting more rather than feeling completely
Yeah.
satisfied with it, you know.
Okay.
And it's
So,
there are a few like there's a few collectibles that I don't have, but I don't really feel
yeah.
the enthusiasm to get them.
Yeah, you're not really
I'm much
incentivized
I'm
to
much more
do.
enjoyed doing the story quests
Yeah,
throughout, you know.
definitely. I mean, yeah, on that note, like I think this is the biggest flaw of the game. Like it is kind of a one-trick pony. That's the
Mhm.
problem, right? Like the island, like you said, is actually fairly decent size, right? And like you're up in the air a lot, but if you actually get down and walk around and run a lot, it's actually a fairly detailed island.
Yeah.
With different locations and people and things like that. And like I said, the flying's enjoyable, the deliveries are fine and all that, but that's kind of it. You don't really get to run around and explore more or do different things. Like this is one game that would have benefited from, I don't know, little mini games or or not romance, but like more social interactions, right? Like raising people because there's a lot of characters on the island and you talk to them, you have story moments and whatnot, but giving you a reason to go around the island more and interacting with it more, I think was what was really needed. Because I haven't reached the end of it, but I agree with you. It feels it's left me wanting more. Like I'm really enjoying everything that's there, but there's a lot more they could be doing. That is, I think, the biggest flaw of the game by far.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I don't I do think it would have been fun to have some challenges, like speed
Hmm.
challenges or
Oh,
dexterity challenges, whatever,
speed
would be
challenges would
quite
have been
fun.
great.
And
Yeah, you're
and I
right.
do know that
No,
they're planning on adding some new quests and stuff, but I
okay.
don't think it's a huge amount that they're planning to do. Um
Yeah, probably not.
but the other thing, like, I don't even think it needed like other types of things. I think that
mhm.
I feel like there's story missing, right? Like, there are things that happened throughout the game that I feel aren't fully addressed, and they kind of like rushed through them, and they
Yes,
could absolutely have expanded a little bit more on certain things.
yes, right. That's what I meant by like the social whatever, right? Like there's characters who have things to explore and whatnot, and you're right. They rush through a lot of it. I I'd like to know more about certain people or see kind of follow up on certain things. I fully agree with that.
So
Which yeah, which is a shame because it's like it's a problem because they did a good job, right? Like I'm enjoying what they do. I wish they had a bit more to offer for me.
so it does look like they're adding a speed mission
Oh,
in the next update.
it's
Uh,
sick. You're right. That would be great. I'd love reach the goal in this time or whatever. That could be pretty cool. Oh man, I'm excited for that.
and then the next update after that adds a fishing minigame. So there you go, you've got more fishing
And there
with
you go.
your glass orb, and also apparently dungeons,
Wha-
which
wha-
depending on what they're done. So it says, uh, the the Great Montgon hides many secrets, but even more inside. Delve into the heart of the mountain and explore every nook and cranny to learn about its history and. So that I feel like could be the thing that makes it feel not too small. Like if there's more stuff added into the mountain,
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
do
That
there,
that
plus
could be anything.
the speed challenge. Like I feel like that might be enough to satiate me, but I
Yeah,
guess we'll
if
have to
all
see.
this stuff, if they had just waited and put all this at release, I think this game would have been a slam dunk.
I think that's the thing, is that it's not a bad game. It's a good game.
Hmm.
I I do feel like they kind of went, we need to get this out now, and
Hmm.
so they cut a bunch of stuff that they wanted to do clearly that they're now
Hmm.
adding in later on, and I think that's a bit sad.
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
is,
That's
I
that's
guess,
very much what it feels like.
that's
Um.
kind of how games are just now, I guess.
Oh, you're
Um,
not wrong.
I
You're
guess I'm
not.
just a bit disappointed because that's not something that Chibi have ever done. All their games have been complete on release.
Hmm. Yeah, that is odd. It will be interesting to see what it's like. Maybe we should do a second harvest once everything's out and then see what that experience is like.
Yeah, for sure,
Because
for sure.
all those things sound great. I mean, maybe the fishing mini games, whatever, but it all sounds like exactly what's needed. Just more things to do, basically, to add, to
Yeah,
interact with.
it depends what the fishing minigame is. It looks like it's just like a collect all the different types of fish, which,
Hmm,
okay, sure, fine. But
that's a shame.
if they added a challenge to it, I think that would make it more fun. But we'll
Like,
see. We'll see.
imagine trying to you have to catch the fish when they're jumping as you're flying on the broom. I think you could do something with it. I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah,
It'll probably just be regular fishing, but
I think
we'll
so. I
see.
think. So yeah, I, let's talk about the story then. Obviously, we don't want to talk too much about it because we don't want to do spoilers. But I think overall, it's a fun little story. I
Yeah,
think that
I don't,
the
well, I haven't reached the end, so I can't say, but from what I've experienced so far, there's not terribly much to spoil. It's enjoyable, but it's
yeah.
light. It's not a deep narrative. Um,
No, no, no. But there are some. I mean, I'll be honest. Most of it was pretty predictable, right? Like when
yeah.
you, when you meet there's a a capitalist guy who's running all the energy for the whole island. You might be, oh, that's a bit suspicious. Maybe something will happen there. Spoiler alert: something happens there. You know, like a lot of it is pretty predictable, but
Yeah.
it's fun, and I
Yeah.
think that one thing that Chibi have always done very well is their character designs are very good and
They
reasonably
are.
memorable.
Yep.
And because of that, they keep bringing their characters into other games, as we mentioned. Um, I'm pretty sure there are 4 characters in this game that have been in previous games,
So I want to talk about, well, you know what? Hold on, let me back up a second. So the initial setup is Mika wants to be a witch. So she visits the witch, I forget her name, on the top of the mountain. And the witch's training is basically like, okay, come back to the top of the mountain. And she just throws you off the side of the mountain. Um, right? And so Mika had to make her way up. Well, she needs a new broom or whatever. And so that's why she finds someone who's willing to help her, but it costs some money. So Mika picks up a job as a courier to make some money to buy the brooms and whatnot. Um,
Because the courier's disappeared. They don't know where the
yes,
courier is.
yes, that's right. She's replacing someone, the courier, and that's important because I, that is by far my favorite of the cameos because you in fact meet the previous courier. Spoiler: it is Mun, our friend from Ankor's Lost Days and other chibi um
Hmm.
games. So I was pretty delighted. She's just hanging off a tree, stuck with the
I
parachute in
think
the tree.
I think Mun is one of only two characters that has been in all the games. Because she was in Summer in Mara
Yeah.
and Dayland as well. I think the only other one that's in all of them is Bram, but I'd need to double
Okay.
check.
But um, but yeah, that's really happy to see Mun. Because like Ankor's the only other one I've ever played. Um, but but yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of rushed there. Yeah, that's Brand. I forgot. I couldn't remember the ice cream guy. That dude.
Yeah,
Um,
the chef.
yeah. Yeah, I
Because I'm
couldn't.
pretty sure he's definitely in Summer in Mara, um, and
He's in
he's in
Dayland.
Dayland.
Yeah.
He's maybe not in Ankara.
Oh, yep. That's true. That's true.
So it's probably just Mun then.
Yeah.
Because Koa also isn't in Ankara, is she? And she's not in Dayland.
Yeah. Um, but anyways, I rushed through that, but yeah. So that's the setup, right? She's making deliveries, and then with the different characters you're interacting, you're getting little mini stories with them and their personalities. Guess what? The wealthy energy baron is an awful person. um, yeah, and you're and like early on, you meet a guy, a dude on a fishing boat, and his dad, like too old to go out on the sea with him anymore, and you deliver some stuff between them, which I think is a very sweet sort of interaction. Um,
Hmm. They do a
and
little
they're
bit more of their story later on as well, but I won't
yeah,
spoil that
yeah,
for
they
you.
do. But
Oh, have you finished his their story?
I don't know if I finished it, but I know I came back to it to do more. Um,
I thought their story, at the end of their story, was nice. I really liked it, and that one wasn't. I didn't predict that one, which is nice.
mm, yeah, I don't think I finished it then because I can't. Yeah, I don't remember.
There's a very clear end to their
Yeah,
story.
yeah, I would imagine so, and I don't think I've encountered that yet. Um,
So I think this is the thing is I think they need to lean more into those as you're saying, like the characters and their
hmm
your relationships with them, because that's I think where they stand out. Like I
yeah,
I care about a lot of these characters.
yeah, they're
Um,
not. It's not just their designs; like they have defined personalities, and
hmm
there's ones you like, and other ones clearly meant to be not liked, and
hmm But
they're
even the
yeah,
ones you don't, even the ones you're kind of don't like, you still like them, right?
yeah.
Like
You'll have to hate
the
them.
annoying kids, for example, they're very
Yeah,
annoying,
the
but you
annoying
also
kids,
kind of like
absolutely.
them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Like they're they're so they're well-made characters like that you enjoy them even if they're annoying or nuisances or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, the spoiled brats that's a good duo. And so yeah, like this again, I think this is the biggest flaw in just being able and not just flying. Like I wish you could walk around a bit more because there's a lot of NPCs, like generic NPCs and stuff or that populate the little village or whatever. And I wish you could take some, or it would incentivize you to take some time to walk around and talk to more people and whatnot, so you could enjoy the great visuals because
Well,
it really looks great.
and the interesting thing is, obviously, the flying is the best way to play this game, right? Like, it's just
hmm
so fun to do that. But the walking is actually more fun than a lot of games, right? Like,
It
it's
is.
not like they just didn't bother to put in the effort to make that enjoyable. But it's weird because they've put in a lot of effort to make it actually fun to traverse the game in two different ways, but then given you no reason to do the other one
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because she walks and runs and she's carrying the packages, Mika. And yeah, you're right. It is enjoyable, but like, yeah, not one delivery had to be done on foot, which you think maybe that would have been the case. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
and it's like if you had little things you had to do, like in the town, for example, you would
mhm.
probably want to walk between them.
Yeah,
Whereas everything
exactly.
is like either to the town or from the town, not
Hmm.
inside the town. And
Yep.
so it's always more efficient to fly
Yeah,
every single time.
absolutely right. I don't know what shops or mini games or something inside the town. I mean, so like, okay, so the whole island or town, like again to the going back to the Wind Waker influence. I forget. Have you played Wind Waker, Al?
I have not. I
Okay.
keep waiting for them to release it on Switch.
Okay, sure. Well, anyways, in Wind Waker, there's an island called Windfall Island, and
Hmm.
this game, this location, whole island in Mika takes heavy inspiration from that. It's like the most populated town in Wind Waker and one of the best parts about Windfall is lots of different character stories and things you can do. There's like a late night auction and also there's a teacher with students and all sorts of fun little uh, side stories and side quests and interactions. And it you really get that feeling of Windfall Island from this game, but without all those delightful interactions or little things to run around and explore, which is left me a bit disappointed or feeling empty. I wish they had done that.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's fair. Um, Feels like a good conclusion to this game, right? Like
Yeah.
fun, enjoyable. They need to lean more into the strengths that they have,
Yep.
and guess looking forward to seeing what the updates are like.
Yep. Like we always it's just as human beings tend to harp on the negatives, but overall, I still give this game a thumbs up. Like I
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I was filled with joy playing it. It made me happy. The flying feels good. It looks pretty. Like everything it does, well, it does really well. Which is, you know, a lot hard to do. Let's say that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so props to them for that. Just and again, I think the complaints come because of that. I want more of this because they did so well. But hopefully all those updates will remedy this. So, I definitely will be keeping an eye on it and playing that stuff when it comes out. And hopefully by the end of it, I can say, yeah, they fixed it. It's great now.
yeah. No, absolutely. I love the game. It's
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
I just want more of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rare for me to say that a game isn't long enough. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe that says something, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Right.
I just because I want more of it doesn't mean I think it's not worth the money. I think it
Absolutely.
absolutely is.
Yep.
You know, I do not measure a game based on cost per hour.
Yeah.
Uh, but even if you do,
Oh my goodness.
it's not an expensive game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that and then there's that. So yeah, easy recommend from me. Go out and check out Mika and the Witch's Mountain. It's a good one.
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin, for joining me. Where can people find you on the internet?
Thank you, Al, for having me on. Thank you, Chibig, for sending the code so I could play the game. Um, if you
Yeah,
want to,
yeah. Well, maybe we should talk about that. That's the first time we've got like a proper big game. Give us a code. That's
we've
wild.
made it. We're
We've
big
made it.
shots. A personally emailing concerned ape. Where's my preview code for Haunted Chocolatier? Where is it in Stardew? Where'd you hide it? Yeah, so yeah, that is a good a great milestone for the show to hit. So yeah,
So
golf
yeah,
claps.
where can people find you?
Um, you can find me at Goop Perez if you want to see my Twitter, where you want to see me reposting smarter, funnier, more interesting people, and a lot of memes. There's a lot of good memes these days. um, especially
Yeah,
in the US.
it's a good time of a 4 year cycle for memes.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a lot going on, but there's some good memes coming out of this 4 year cycle.
I
Um,
just so you know the meme that is the I can't remember the exact wording, but it's like the two people talking about the end of the world, and then one of them says, "Yeah, but we got a lot of shareholder value in the end."
Yeah,
I feel like that's us, and we're like complaining about the end of the world, and you're like, "Yeah, but we got some good memes."
basically, that's what my personal account amounts to. In between all the horror, check out these dank memes. um,
Oh, is Dank back? Oh goodness, I thought that was well
oh,
gone.
it's never left for me. Dank is here to stay for me. If you want to go check out my dank art that I post on rare occasion, go to Spider Squared. Or more importantly, if you want to see me get really unhinged, well, that's not true. You could hear that on this show plenty. Go listen to Rainbow Road Radio show I do with our mutual friend Alex on all things Mario. Um, there was actually an episode without me, just recently with his spouse. So that's definitely a treat. And then, like I said, by the time this comes out, we'll have an episode on Yoshi's Island. So, I'm sure there will be many things to be said on terrifying physics of Yoshi's World. Um, what about you, Al? Where do people find you?
Well, you can find me on mastodon.scot and on Twitter at the Scottbot. More importantly, though, you can find the podcast on Tumblr and on Twitter at THS Pod. You can send us feedback. Go send us feedback. Tell us what you thought of Mika and the Witch's Mountain. You can do that on our website, harvestseason.club. We have a form there to send feedback. Also, there we have links to everything to do with the podcast, including show notes and links to all of our other places on sites, including our Patreon, patreon.com/thspod, where you can support the podcast if you would like to do that. If you do that, you get access to our Slack, where we talk about lots of things. Today, Johnny was talking about kicking children off mountains.
Yeah.
And
It's in Mika, it's points for him, might be points for you too.
you can also get access to our back catalogue of bonus podcasts. We had one, I think the Godzilla one is the most recent one. Me
I
and
think
Spencer
so.
talking about Godzilla a couple weeks ago.
I have not listened to it. I hope Kaiju were mentioned. I hope
Oh, we
Biollante
talk about
was
lots of
mentioned.
stuff. We talk about lots of stuff. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Um,
We will have some more coming out. I've been on holiday, so I haven't had much time to plan what we're coming, but we'll have more. We'll have more in the next couple of months. So sign up and you'll get them, and you'll get all the previous ones we've done, which is a lot.
and those episodes are usually not time related, so you can go back and listen to them without feeling too bored. Aside from the
Yeah,
usual
yeah. I think the only time-related ones are like the
directs.
directs that we
Yeah,
do and the Eurovision ones.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think that's everything. Thank you, Kevin, again for joining me.
Thank you, Al, for having me on. Thank you, Chippy, for letting me play this game.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Mika the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
And the outro music's playing in my head. One thing. Boy, can I relate to Mika getting fired when she just does her job well, just to appease the corporate overlords. Boy, I
Oh
can
my
relate to
word.
that.
I can't even with that. That was dreadful. My main problem with the story, right? This is spoilers now. If you're listening to the after credits, this is spoilers for the game.
Yep.
No complaints, please. There's never really any like comeuppance for him. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You turn on. Have you turned on the windmill yet?
No, I have not. I think actually I'm on that. It's one of the things I'm working on right now.
So you turn
Um,
on the windmill, and I think the implication there is that now you don't need to use his electricity, but it's just an implication. There's no like, you never see him being
Yep.
annoyed about that. He never gets like kicked out of town or like loses his business, or you never see
Hmm.
anything about that. It's just an implication. And no, I need my I need to see his comeuppance, right? Not
When do
just
we
have it
kick
implied.
him off the cliff?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just he needs to get it needs to happen. Please and thank you.
Mika needs her own delivery service too. I don't know if that happens, but she does. Okay, I'm done.
I mean, that's essentially what she does after she gets fired.
Yeah, basically, yeah.